moments like this where I'm so glad that I am single. Thank you, Jesus.
Get your money, sis, fuck a hater. Get your money, sis, get your weight up. Make your money move, I ain't mad at you. Yeah, it's all about the cream and getting money, sis. Get your money, sis, fuck a hater.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to 2 Cent Tuesday with Jenny, where you will be getting my unsolicited, unapologetic opinion about what's going on in the world today. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you are notified every single time that I post a new video. And you might as well go ahead and give this video a big old thumbs up. Without further ado, let's get right into today's topic. Today I will be talking about none other than Love and Hip Hop's own Safaree and Erica Mena. If you do not know, Safaree and Erica Mena are married. They met through the Love and Hip Hop franchise. They were on a show together. Oh my gosh, what is the name of that show? Haunted? I don't know. It was on VH1. I love that show. I wish they would have had another season. But if you were a fan, everyone saw how much Safaree was head over heels for Erica, wanted to be with her, wanted her to give him a chance. She was adamant against it for a while. And then eventually it came out that the two was a couple. And then eventually that led to marriage, 2 children later, and they are going through it as most couples do. But unfortunately, they are airing all of their dirty laundry via social media and Love and Hip Hop. There was a Twitter feud between Safaree and Erica where Safaree tweeted that basically his marriage to Erica was the worst mistake he has ever made. And then she had a few things to say back to Safaree, and it was this whole back and forth situation. They was getting a divorce, and then all of a sudden we got hit with a maternity photo shoot with the two of them getting ready to have baby number 2. After that came out, then before I knew it, Erica was coming at the world because everybody had comments like, weren't you going to divorce her? Now you guys are having a baby, blah, blah, blah. She was ready to beat up Wendy Williams, but then later had to come back and say she was right. All kind of crazy stuff has been going on. Long story short, if you do not know, Erica Mena recently gave birth to their son. And unfortunately, the baby has been in the NICU, neonatal ICU for children, and Safaree is living his best life in Jamaica, turning up, doing what Safaree does best. And everybody is like, this ain't it, Safaree. You're dead wrong. What the hell are you doing? Go home to your wife, go home to your child. And not for nothing, he had this to say on last week's episode of Love and Hip Hop. This is before it came out. This is before the baby was born and everything. But he had this to say. Roll clip.
I didn't realize having a kid was this much work, so that's why I said I don't want no more kids. It's a lot of work. I didn't know it was this much work, and we don't have any help.
Do you not like being married?
Well,
I'm almost scared, like, you don't want to do life with me.
it's so traumatic.
It's moments like this where I'm so glad that I am single. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah. So let's get into this. So now that you guys got all the details, let me know, what do you think about this in the comment section. I'm gonna go ahead and put my 2 cents in there. And honestly, I feel like this is a case of falling for chemistry instead of character. Now, I came across a video a long time ago where this young lady, I wish I knew the young lady's name, but I don't know her name. But she talked about how people need to stop falling for chemistry and start paying attention to character. And at first I was just like, but isn't that how you gain a relationship with somebody? You know, your chemistry is what. But once she broke it down, I was like, I get it. I got you. That makes sense. So I'm going to get into that in this video. I'm not really going to go too much into the whole Safaree and Erica situation. I really want to talk about this chemistry versus character thing because it is a big deal. For me, I think a lot of people don't pay attention enough to it. So just to sum up, obviously Safaree is wrong. Listen, I have always been Team Safaree from the get-go. When I found out him and Erica was dating, I was just like, she better do him right. Because, you know, we've all seen how Erica can go. But to see her so vulnerable and really hurt by this man's actions and his words and not being there for his children and pretty much thinking about himself, it really made me as a woman feel for her. Like, you know, no woman deserves that. Especially not the mother of your children. But it makes me think, did Erica fall for the chemistry and not paid attention to the character? Because I'm just going to use them as an umbrella. We've seen Safaree since he was with Nikki, when we didn't even know he was with Nikki. We just thought he was her hype man. But they were, in fact, in a relationship. We didn't really get to see much of his personality because basically he was all about praising Nikki. But once we got to know who Safaree was outside of her, once they broke up, you know, it was pretty clear that he was a very self-centered person. That was his character. Selfish, self-centered. I'm not going to say selfish. Definitely self-centered. Everything was about him. So I feel like that is something that she probably put in the back of her mind because of how he may have treated her, how they may have had fun together, the chemistry, the romance. I feel like all of that took a front seat to what type of man he really was. And those red flags that were obviously there, I feel like she kind of put it on the back burner, as most of us do. And to now see, when you have children, you start seeing things for what it is. You know, when it's just the two of you, I feel like it's us, we're in La La Land and da-da-da. A child will, this is why I haven't had any yet. When I could have tried to have a child, I just knew I wasn't ready, because you have to understand, like, having a child is the most selfless thing you can do. You can't be selfish and self-centered and have a child. Everything cannot be about you 24/7. And for that man to sit there and say, I did not know having a child was going to be this hard. What, you thought it was going to be easy? I mean, like, really. But yeah, so let's just break it down. What exactly is chemistry in a relationship? Well, it's a simple emotion that two people get when they have this, when they feel this connection to each other. When you're around this person, it's an emotion of, wow, I feel so connected to this person. It's kind of like an impulse, like, you know, you crave to be around this person. You can't wait to see them. You can't wait to spend time with them. And having a mutual interest with each other. This person is easy to talk to. Intimacy. Having a physical attraction to this person. All of those things can build chemistry. And when that chemistry is built up and you feel this impulse to want to be around this person and I just have so much fun, they're a good time, you tend to forget about certain things. Such as, what is this person's character traits? You understand what I'm saying? Because he treats you this way, you don't pay attention to how he refers to other women. You understand? Like, let's say y'all are just vibing, having a conversation. Yeah, he treats you in the beginning, of course. He's treating you like a princess and, oh, you everything. You're the world. But when talking about other women, he refers to them as bitches or these hoes, and you know, he talks like that about other women. You don't, you know, because the chemistry is so good, I feel like you're not paying attention to how he looks at other women, which means that you can easily become that bitch too when he decides he's going to lose interest. And I'm not saying that's all the time. This is my opinion. That's how I feel. Things like how he treats his mother. How is his relationship with his mom? Does he give her respect? Is he a respectful? You understand what I'm saying? Men will do a lot of things for you, but you have to also pay attention to how he is with other people and other women, because that's the character traits that I feel like a lot of us try to ignore because our chemistry is so lit. You understand? And as far as women, we're no exception either. Like, men don't pick up on a lot of character traits with women, or they tend to ignore because she looks so good and, you know, she's so cool. You don't pay attention to certain things, like she's mad rude to the waitress, or, you know, she causes a scene because there was a pickle on her burger. You know, these are things that you don't pay attention to because you just trying to see how far this could go, or you trying to hit it. Or even if you genuinely like her, it's like, okay, maybe she's just, you know, speaking up for herself. But you tend to ignore that this becomes a habit. You understand what I'm saying? Or she's spending 20 hours looking at herself in the mirror, and, you know, it's all about how I look, and, you know, I can't do this because I gotta look a certain way, and da-da-da. Like, these are things that we don't pay attention to. People who are self-centered. That is a huge red flag that we often ignore because you just like, you confident. Don't confuse cockiness with confidence. You understand what I'm saying? More traits we tend not to pay attention. Somebody that finds it hard to forgive. If they're telling you, oh, I never really forgave this person and really forgave that person and this person, what do you think is going to happen when it comes down to forgiving you for something? People who it's hard to give out compliments. If they ain't never complimented you in the beginning, don't be looking years down the line like, oh, you never tell me I look nice, or they never did. Because you ignored all of that because you were so caught up with your vibe that you didn't pay attention that he never complimented you or she never complimented you. Drama queens. That could go for male or female. Case in point, them ones that would like to cause a scene because they put a pickle on your burger. I want to see the waitress. Excuse me, I need the manager. Da 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 da. Yeah, the date going well until that happens and you want to overlook it because everything else went smooth. But just know, if that happened once, that's going to happen all the time. Just saying. Also, people who are very rude. That's a trait that we often ignore because they're not rude to us. Or they treat us a certain way, but we ignore the fact that they were rude to the janitor that was mopping up near us, or they were rude to the cashier, or, you know, or even in them being rude to their family members. But you're like, oh, but he don't do that to me, or she don't do that to me. It's a character trait. They're not doing that to you now, but it's bound to happen. Those traits are bound to show its ugly head. To wrap all of that up, like I said, I feel like, I don't know if I explained it as well as the young lady did. I hope I did. But again, it was an eye-opener because I was like, I never thought about how we often do fall for chemistry and we end up in long-term relationships because the chemistry is so good, but we tend to ignore all those negative character traits that this person has, and it makes you like, well, why can't we get it together, or why are we constantly arguing about this, and why is this constantly coming up in our relationship? It's because you have ignored it for so long, and now you're like, let me try to change this person. Let me try to change her. Let me try to change him. You can't change anybody unless they want to change. That is something we have to keep in our minds. You cannot change anybody. Let me repeat it. You cannot change anyone unless they want to be changed. Just saying. So, as long as you know that, life will be a whole lot easier. It will be less stress in your life the sooner you start to realize that. But anyway, to sum it all up, like I said, I feel like their relationship, it moved too fast. The chemistry was there, the compatibility, or at least they thought was there. But I feel like they both ignored a lot of each other's huge red flags. Safaree is a very self-centered person. Erica is a drama queen. You know, she's a firecracker. And he can't stand out about her, and she can't stand out about him now. But you knew all of this before you got married. You knew all of this before you decided to have children. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but you chose to ignore those red flags. And now here we are. We got to pay attention to those red flags. Stop ignoring the red flags. This is why my ass is single to this day. One, because I know my worth, and I am not going to tolerate anything less than what I deserve. And two, those red flags, baby, all it takes is one. And maybe, again, because the chemistry is there, I might say, okay, let me give it another try. But once that red flags keep doing this in my face and more keep popping up, you got to go. I can't do it. I'm sorry. And hey, if that's how it's going to be, then fine. I would rather my peace a whole lot more than to be in a situation where I am unhappy, stressed out, and going through the motions. I'm good. I'm good. Anyway, as always, I thank you guys for watching. Make sure you follow me on all my social medias. Everything will be in the description down below. And Jenny is